Ramlogan in India.
Okay, here's what. Can we mute?
Yeah,
Let's mute Mr. Ramlogan until we're ready to talk, please.
Yeah, mute him. You can mute him. Go on. Coming up.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Assalamu alaikum. Good evening, good night, or good morning to all of you. And we are so pleased to have people in this meeting from all parts of the world in different time zones. I am Shakira Mohammed from Trinidad and Tobago, a teacher for the past 16 years. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the 228th edition of our ICC Thought Leaders Forum. We wish to sincerely thank all of you who have contributed in whatever way to the success of this ongoing Pan-Indo-Caribbean and Pan-Indian Diaspora Global Project. For 227 unbroken continuous weeks, we have been here every single Sunday. And in the past 4 years and 5 months, we have featured 1,047 presenters from all parts of the world speaking on 227 topics. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a weekly forum being hosted by the Indo-Caribbean Cultural Center, a legally registered research and publishing company operating since 2010. And in order to continue this weekly program and to make it bigger and better, we are asking for suggestions as well as volunteers. And if you give a donation, your name will be placed on our poster and all promotional materials, and you can contact Dr. Kumar Mahabir for details. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll introduce our moderator this afternoon, who is Shalama Mohammed, the co-director of this ICC Zoom platform, who is a business teacher and researcher from Trinidad and Tobago. She obtained her master's degree in business psychology from Franklin University in the USA. Shalama, welcome.
Thanks so much, Shakir. Assalamu alaikum, namaste, and a warm welcome to all of you. Thanks so much for choosing to be here with us. This program is being recorded on Zoom and live streamed on the YouTube channel of the Indo-Caribbean Cultural Center. I want to say welcome to all of you on YouTube at this time. To avoid intrusions from trolls, our IT manager has muted everyone. Speakers, please do not admit anyone, do not unmute anyone, and do not allow anyone to share your screen. Thanks so much for cooperating. Today is part 25 of our live conversations with elders in the Indian diaspora. And why have we done this 24 times? These conversations with Indian elders offer a rare and insightful window into the lives and experiences of elders, like those we are featuring today, Mr. Rupnarayan Ramlogan, Chanade Rampasad, and Budram Ramgulam. Their stories capture the resilience and cultural contributions of Indian communities in Trinidad. And we want to highlight those as much as possible because there are significant lessons in there for us. So we want to start firstly with Mr. Rupnarayan Ramlogan. He's 88 years old. He was born in Trinidad on December 20th, 1935. His father abandoned the family on the day of his birth, but that did not seem to affect him as negatively as some would think. As an adult, he worked as a laborer, taxi driver, pipe fitter, small entrepreneur, and several other things. After marriage, he became an exemplary family man, we understand. So, Mr. Ramlogan, welcome. Thank you so much for being
Thank you
here
so much for being here.
and for allowing us to have this conversation. Are you hearing me clearly?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So first of all, I want to ask you, based on the fact that we were told that your father left on the day of your birth, did he ever return to the family?
Yes, he did return after 1 year. My mother had took him to court for maintenance.
Mhm.
He went with another lady, and then when he came, my mother put him in court for maintenance.
Mhm.
He couldn't pay the maintenance, and he came back home.
So when he came back home, what kind of family
What a
life?
fun.
You were 1 year old, so I'm not too sure how much you recall, but what are your earliest memories of your father?
He was an alcoholic.
Mhm.
He used to smoke a lot of cigarettes.
Mhm.
He was a very popular person
Mhm.
where we were living in Standard Road, Faisal.
Mhm. What made him popular?
Well, I wouldn't know, but I wouldn't know because I was very young. But he always used to he help people there.
Mhm. Help people in what way?
Well, he had known a lot of people in high position.
Mhm. What could account for that? Is it because of his job? What kind of work he used to do?
The first thing I remember while growing up, he was working at oil company named PCO.
Mhm.
And the manager, he used to drive the manager wherever he wants to go. He used to drive the manager. And the manager liked him a lot.
Mhm.
Then I remember he leave the job and the same oil company he was working for, he bought a truck from the oil company.
Mhm.
And he leave the manager came home by us and looked for him to come back and work. He never went back.
I see. So then he became an entrepreneur of his own.
He was an alcoholic, and that was his most priority for alcohol.
Mhm. How did that affect you?
Yeah, it did affect the family. My mother and my three sisters, my two sisters, elder sisters. It did affect us. We could not get the right maintenance.
Mhm. So as you brought that up, I thought it very interesting. You said your mother took him to court for maintenance. Now,
Yeah,
this was around 1935, 1936.
it
She was
wasn't around.
she was a remarkable woman to take that kind of step at that time. Do you agree?
Yes, yes.
Tell us a little bit about your mom.
Pardon me?
Tell us a little bit about your mother. What kind of person was she?
Well, she took care of us, whatever small way, whatever is small income. She took care of us very well.
Mhm. What kind of work
Our
did she
two
do?
sisters, Mhm.
What kind of
Pardon me?
work did she do?
She was a housewife.
Okay. So she did not do anything to earn income on her own?
No, no.
Okay. So she taught you all. How many siblings did you have?
Sibling, we was 11.
Wow. And where did you fall in that line?
I was in the third.
Okay, so you were one of the older ones.
Yeah. Our two sisters. Our one sister still alive. She lives in Georgia.
Is she older or younger?
She's younger. She's older than me.
Interesting.
She
So,
is after she was me.
mhm.
She had a bigger sister, elder sister. She died, and then the one before me, she's still alive, but she bedridden in in Georgia.
Oh, I see. I can hear that. So you were the oldest one in the family.
Yeah.
Who was your um, most influential male? Who was the most influential male in your life?
Well, I can't answer that.
Did you have a
I,
lot of
uh,
girls?
I had for my own self, I had to develop whatever I achieve and whatever
Mhm.
I did it on my own.
And which school did you attend?
The first school I attended was the Para Road Presbyterian School.
Presbyterian school. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you all speak Hindi at the school or were you taught in
They
English?
had Hindi classes, but then I went to Hyderabad Intermediate School, so I forgot a lot of the Hindi. But I still could remember few things.
Uh-huh. And was Hindi spoken at your home or Bhojpuri?
It was Bhojpuri. My grandmother was from India, and she used to speak Bhojpuri.
And she lived at home with
And
you
something
all?
like something that she taught me,
Mhm.
10 paisa is 50 cents.
Mhm.
And she used to say, Kam kare, if you work for 50 cents, Kam kare, 10 paisa. Vitor, 2 paisa, and spend 8 paisa. Which means if you work for 50 cents, you spend, you don't spend 52 cents. You save 10 cents and you spend 40 cents.
Mhm.
That
Very
is
good
what she taught
advice.
me. And she said you would never be in need once you do that.
Mhm. Was that
And I grew up
advice
with
true?
that. I grew up with that what she told me in Hindi. Das paisa kam kare,
Mhm.
aat paisa, which means
Mhm.
you spend it.
Mhm.
आठ पैसा खर्चा है, which means you spend 40 cents and you put away 10 cents.
Is that something you taught your children as well?
Well, what I must tell you, I always taught them, but you see, I was so unfortunate when I was young growing up.
In what way?
Very unfortunate. I had to, I had to do my own thing.
Such as?
Well, such as working and when I left school, my father made me left school to mind a cattle, a cow in half.
He made you
When the
leave
cow
school.
makes, huh?
He made you leave
He made
school.
me leave school to mind a cow in half.
At what age did you leave school?
I was around 14 years.
So that would have been around Form 2.
Yeah.
He made you leave school. How did your mother feel about this?
But she didn't have a say.
Okay, so you spent your time looking after these animals, and what else?
This was one cow.
Mm-hmm.
And when that cow, it make the young one, I give back the owner the cow. And I had the young one one night my father take the young one and sold it.
And then what? What did he want you to do after?
Well, I had to fight my way for myself, to do little odd jobs.
Were you able to
Then I
talk to
remember
him?
after all of these things that happened,
Mhm.
my nanny, which was was from India, she she used to be by our house very often. She was living in St. Madeline, Chulku village.
Mhm.
And my nanny used to be by me very often. And there was a parlor selling a little building was an auction sale. And she bought that parlor for me.
Mhm.
And my mother pawned her what do you call it? Bera those days.
Mhm.
And they had the gold piece. She had 10 gold pieces.
Mhm.
She pawned it and I got $75.
Mhm.
And the little building she bought for me, I opened the parlor with it. And I start off life from there.
This was around
This was
1950.
around 1950.
I can't remember exactly but it was in the 50s.
Mhm. So somewhere around 1955, and this was about the same
The
time
same time
that
that
first elections took place in Trinidad and Tobago. Were you into politics at all? Were you all
No,
touched
no, no.
live by
No, no,
politics?
no. But I remember the late Joda Singh.
Uh-huh.
He and my father were good friends. Because when I got married, he had a car, P60 was the number.
Mhm.
And he was the Minister of Works and Transport in those days. But he and my father was very good friends.
Mhm.
And when I got married, his car was used for my wedding car.
I see. And what year was
and
this?
what year was it?
I think I married in 55 or something, 54. Can't remember. But I know this year would make me, November this year would make me 68 years of marriage.
Excellent. And your wife
And
is still
your wife
there,
is
and both of you all are still happy
Yeah.
together. Yes?
Yeah.
yes?
Grandma died.
Yeah, my wife died.
Oh, I see.
She
Oh, I
died.
see.
She died about a little over than a year now.
I see.
I see.
So tell us how
So
you
tell
met.
And then she was a very whatever I earned in life, she contributed.
Excellent. Yeah. How did you meet her? Was it an arranged
My
marriage or did you choose to get
it
married
was
to her?
it was an arranged marriage. My father took me to see two girls, and then she was the third one.
Mhm. And what made you choose her?
Well, I had like her. When I saw her, I had like her, and I keep visiting. I used to call it courting.
Mhm.
Remember that name?
Yeah. So what were some of the
what was
ways back then that you courted her?
What it was, pardon me?
In those days, what were some of the ways that you would court her?
Well, you will visit on evening when I close the parlor. I had bought a car while I had the parlor, a
Mm-hmm.
1947 Chevrolet,
Mm-hmm.
and I used to take the car and go and visit her.
Mm-hmm.
When we get married, remember the marriage days for the 27th of November.
Mm-hmm. 27th of November, right?
And
Mr.
my
Ramlogan,
my
hold on one
mother,
second. Mr. Ramlogan, 1 second, please. Is it your daughter who's with you in the room?
Oh no, granddaughter.
Granddaughter. Okay. Are you looking at Zoom on your phone?
No.
No. Okay. We seem to be having a bit of an echo, and I'm trying to figure out what might be the reason for that. Okay,
Okay.
it's
Yeah.
not on your end. Let's continue then. Mr. Ramlogan, what I want to find out from you is whether or not during those days in the 1950s, politics affected you, apart from knowing Mr. Ajoda Singh, who was the minister at the time, based on your father's interaction with him. How were you involved in politics in any way? Did you all go to political meetings? Did you hear it
Yeah,
on the radio?
we used to go to political meeting.
When you say we, was it you and
Well, me and my father, sometimes my sister would go.
uh-huh,
Because I had a 19, I had bought her the Chevrolet car.
right.
Right.
And did you have any impressions at that time? Or did you have an opinion at that time about who you wanted to have govern this country?
In those days, it wasn't, it didn't have nothing like recent politics. But then, being a Judah Singh, they didn't have party. They had individual. They didn't have no party in those days.
Mhm.
They had their candidates in different constituency. They had their candidates.
Mhm. And you were
So
eligible to
we supported Uriah Butler first, and then after the next election was Ajuda Singh, Roy Joseph Ajuda Singh. There's a fellow named Victor Bryan, Ashwat Sinanan, Mitra Sinanan. You remember those names?
Mhm.
I remember Ajuda Singh telling my father, I get this from my father. That's, he was the minister, Ajuda Singh was the minister of works and communication. And when the Queen coronate, they choose Ajuda Singh to represent Trinidad and Tobago to go to the Queen's coronation.
Mhm.
And I remember he told my father that when they choose him to go there, they put one of the Sinanan brothers to act in his position.
Mhm. So, how did party politics begin?
Party politics began in 1950 when Eric William come in power.
56.
Mm.
Why do you
They had,
think there was a need for party politics?
well, that is how it started.
Why?
It's a party politics instead of individuals.
Why?
Well, I can't answer that question.
Okay, but were you all comfortable under the government prior to 1956?
We were comfortable. I would say life was better in those days. They didn't have this race. The two people that we used to interact very well was the Negroes and Indians. They didn't have no race those days.
Let's talk a little bit about that interaction.
Yeah.
Did you participate in a lot of cultural activities? Did you have a lot of Afro Trinidadians visit your home? Did you have a lot of friends? Did they come to any activities that you had?
Most of my friends were Afros. Most. And what I could remember when I went, I would at when I went to work as a contractor in Texaco, the Negroes give me more work than the Indians.
Why is that? Is it because they had the opportunity to do so? Or is it because there was a
No, well, you
preference
have to
because you
tender.
knew what you were doing?
You have to tender and you have to know what you're doing. Like for instance, they used to have they have compressor, and the compressor had a pressure tank.
Mhm.
And I was the only person have the to take the pressure when the government come to what is the word I should use? They used to come and check the pressure tank. And I had a compressor that
Mhm.
they used to give me all the tanks to check in the compressors.
Okay, so you often got jobs
Yeah, I
as a
often got
result.
jobs. Yeah.
So maybe it didn't have to do with the ethnicity, maybe it had to do with your capacity to complete the job.
Yes.
Yeah?
Didn't have nothing.
Dr. Mahabir has a question or two for you. Let me just have him come on.
Yeah, Mr.
Yeah.
Ramugan, very interesting
Yes.
life story that you
Yeah.
had to struggle so hard to reach where you are. And I
Yeah.
can connect with you because of the shop, because my father owned a shop too. So this shop that you had, was it a grocery shop or a liquor shop? You
No, it
sell
was,
rum?
I started with, I had a shop long after I had opened my shop. But before I had a parlor, but I used to sell a lot of shop goods in it.
Right. So tell me some of the things that you used to sell or that were available that you don't see now.
Well, I think you see more things now. You the more importation of things.
Right, but there's
You have more imports.
some items that were available then that you don't see now. Can you give examples or anything like that?
What could I tell you? Yes, you get most of the things you get now is imported, and you get a lot of stuff now, more than a
Okay,
long time.
no problem. Yes, a wider variety. So you had to give trust and so on. Not so people would come on credit. How did that work with you? Credit. People.
You had some people you credit,
Mm,
and they was very honest when you credit them. When Friday come and they get pay, they come and they pay you. They have some again, they gone. They gone
right.
with you. They never come back and pay you. So it have some you had to put in court
Yes. Okay.
to get your money.
Uh-huh. So were there other shops nearby that were competing with you, or you alone in that area?
In that area was Ireland.
Okay. And you expanded into what? From the parlor to the shop. Can you explain that extension, that expansion from the parlor to the shop?
What had happened when I got married, life had changed completely. When I got married, so I had to leave everything and start off where I born. I had to leave everything, and I went penal to live on my own. The wife and I went penal and we happened to build a little house. Those days I used to work for in a supermarket in San Fernando in High Street. The name Wing Hing. I don't know if you heard that name. GT Allen was side of it.
Yes.
And I used to get $14 a week. And with that $14 a week, I have to pay the bus $2 a week to travel. It was 20 cents a trip. I mean $12. I make $5 grocery, $2 market, and I used to throw a susu with $5. So that is the $14 done. Saturday evening, I used to have to go from when I finish working the grocery, go and make a half day with a contractor, a builder fella, and I used to get the extra money.
Oh. Right, right. So you had to, yeah, do more than one job because I was wondering how you
Yeah.
were able from the parlor to the shop to be able to buy a car because to buy a car
When
was
I had
something
the power,
expensive.
I bought a car, 1947 Chevrolet.
Uh-huh.
And like, I bought my father, he was alcoholic and he used to be sitting down home there. So I bought this 1947 Chevy from the Apex Oil Company manager had it.
Right.
I paid $1,800 for it.
Wow.
That is saving money from the power.
Yeah. Right. So good. And was that car, did you use it for private or for taxi?
It was private for a few months and then my father, we turned it into taxi.
Right. So you would work taxi and still have the job or still run the parlor?
After, no. So after I left home and when I got married, after I left home due to, well, long time people, how Moreno used to be and whatnot. They want daughter-in-law to do everything in the house.
Yes. So I guess you're proud of your life. You have educated children and grandchildren, maybe great grandchildren. So
Well, I'm very proud to know that I took care of my 4 children, and the 4 children, they all doing well.
very good. Yes, they would appreciate that
As I have
because
a
you.
son right now, I don't know if you, I have a son is a professor, the last
Yes,
boy.
yes, I know him well.
You know him?
Professor of law, commercial law, Rajendra Ram Logan. I know him
Yeah,
well.
you know him?
Ye- Yes,
All
yes, I
right,
know
that's
him.
nice.
Goodbye, good boy, good boy, good man. Yeah, so I think we have to fold up on the interview because we have two others. Anybody
Okay.
in the audience, Vinay has some questions.
Yeah, I now sent a message to Vinay because I really would like him to ask some of those questions directly to Mr. Ramlogan. Vinay, can you turn on your mic?
You would have to unmute him.
Can you unmute?
You would have to unmute him.
Mhm.
Yeah. Did you get him?
I'm not finding him. Can you try?
He trying. I'm not seeing him. Let me switch view.
Vinay, are you unmuted? Okay, while we're waiting for him, I noticed that we also have a question from Jay. Jay is asking, what religion did the family follow? Mr. Ramlogan, can you tell us, please?
We follow the Hindu religion.
Okay, so despite the fact that you went to the Presbyterian school, you remained a Hindu.
Yeah.
Okay.
But now
Mr.
I'm a Presbyterian.
Interesting. What made you
Mhm.
change your mind?
I read a little history about what Reverend Morton, what the other fella name?
Reverend John
Reverend Morton,
Morton. Uh-huh.
Reverend John Morton, and uh, just forget the fella name. Was two people from two Canadian missionaries,
Uh-huh.
and they, with my thoughts and my thinking,
Mm-hmm.
they have Indians where they're at today. These two Canadian missionaries, Reverend Grant and Reverend Morton.
Right. Good. Somebody, I think Kishav has a question.
I was able to unmute. Somebody just asked.
Okay, okay, Vinay. Yes, Vinay is here.
Hi, yes, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for answering my question.
Vinay, a little louder, please. We're not hearing you clearly.
Oh, okay. What about now? Is this better?
A little
Yeah,
bit
yeah,
better,
good.
yeah.
Yeah, so Uncle Ram Logan, I had a couple of questions for you. One for the shop that you owned. I wasn't too sure exactly what you would sell in the shop, but I wanted to ask if you recall selling anything that people nowadays probably don't see as often. So I made mention of something like Barahar or Sarputia, Nenua, Chichinda, like long
Oh,
time
fruits, yeah, local fruits.
yeah, local fruits that maybe you don't see as often anymore. Do you have any recollection of selling that?
Those in those days, you never have to buy those things.
Mm-hmm.
People would have it and they would share.
Oh, okay. And then the second question I had for you, in regards to your mom, do you remember her speaking much Hindustani to you growing up, or if she and the other East Indian ladies in the village would talk in Hindustani much or sing any of those long time folk
Yeah,
songs?
she had known a lot of Hindustani, a lot of that. The Hindustan
Mhm.
Okay, so we want to follow up now.
culture.
Kishav has a question. Kishav, go ahead, unmute. You have to unmute. He's trying.
Okay.
Oh, yeah,
Namaste, everybody.
namaste.
Nice meeting all of you. But I didn't want to disturb you in between, so I didn't speak anything. Thank you. Carry on.
Okay. He just wish to express his thanks. Thank you. Okay, so anybody has any other question? Just raise your hand, your electronic hand. If you have a question for Mr. Ramlogan, we are closing this segment now. We're going on to the second elder to interview. Okay, Shalima, take over. Wait, you have to unmute. Right, go ahead.
Sorry. Mr. Ramlogan, before you go, I just want to ask you, do you have any advice for young fathers or aspiring fathers?
Well, what I would say, if you want to achieve anything and you didn't get things from your parents, you have to work hard. And you have to be very honest.
Mhm.
And you have to work hard and you will achieve. You have to have a goal.
All right. So men should have a
And
goal.
huh?
Men should
Yeah.
have a goal.
Yeah, you can't say, well, you're going in alcohol and you're gambling, you're just destroying your life.
Mhm. All right. So thank you very much for your time. And thank you so much for sharing your personal life story.
Right,
We really appreciate it.
right. Thanks.
Have a nice day. Thank you.
You too.
Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was Mr. Rupnarayan Ramlogan. And we want to move on now to our second elder, who is Mr. Budram Sadhu Ramgulam. He's a little bit younger. He's 83 years old and he's a theater legend. He's the last custodian, producer, director, singer, musician, and actor in the Western Hemisphere to preserve ancient Indian folk dramas like Sarwan Kumar and Raja Harishchandra.
You want to listen to him?
Yeah, also.
Go ahead.
So before we invite him to speak, Dr. Mahabar will play one of his many performances, this time in the form of a biraha, similar to extempo music and carnival, composed on the spot about current affairs.
प्रेम से बोलो प्रभु रामचंद्र की जय। हे धनी है भारत देश हमारा मोरे भैया, धनी है चुने देश, धनी है माता पिता को मोरे प्रभु जी, जिन मोहि दिया उपदेश। आजी आजा चाची चाचा भारत से आए हैं, आजी आजा चाची चाचा भारत से आए हैं। आजी आजा चाची चाचा करके आज ये लड़कन को पढ़ाए हैं। मेहनत करके आज ही आजा लड़कन को पढ़ाए हैं, मेहनत करके आज ही आजा लड़कन को पढ़ाए हैं। मेहनत करके आज ही आजा लड़कन को पढ़ाए हैं, कोई टीचर लॉयर कोई डॉक्टर बनाए हैं। कोई टीचर लॉयर कोई डॉक्टर बनाए हैं, कोई टीचर लॉयर कोई डॉक्टर बनाए हैं। कोई टीचर लॉयर कोई डॉक्टर बनाए हैं। प्राइम मिनिस्टर और प्रेसिडेंट बनाए हैं। हे धनी है भारत देश हमारा मोरे भैया, की धनी है कनेडा देश। धनी है माता पिता को मोरे प्रभु जी, जिन मोहि दिया उपदेश। सब भाई के राम राम गुरु जी के बंदगी, सब भाई के राम राम गुरु जी के बंदगी। सब भाई के राम राम गुरु जी के बंदगी, सब भाई से मिलकर चल दो दिन की जिंदगी। छोटे गौवा अवधपुर के वतनिया से धाम, के वतनिया से धाम। हुआ के रानी कौशल्या, जहाँ जन्मे है राम, जहाँ जन्मे है राम। मोर मन लगे हरि भजने को, आगे आगे चले विश्वामित्र, पछे लक्ष्मण राम, पछे लक्ष्मण राम। जाई के पहुँचे जनकपुर में, जहाँ धनुआयो बाण, जहाँ धनुआयो बाण। मोर मन लगे हरि भजने को, सतगुरु जी के नाम, सतगुरु जी के नाम। मोर मन लगे हरि। बोलो उमापति महादेव की जय।
Wow.
Thank you very much, Sadhu, for that wonderful performance. You are like, we are so honored to have you, a living legends. You are akin to the last of the Mohicans. Because this type of dance again, but explain, give us the context. Tell us what the meaning in English. Tell us about the costume. Tell us about the rhythm and the drums. They are tasa drum, but they should really be biraha drum, nagara drums.
The Biraha, as it is said, when our foreparents came, them came from Uttar Pradesh. And that is one type of tune those individuals used to sing. So to the blessing of my father and keeping company, I get to learn that. So I like the Biraha. The dancing, I start in Ramlila, and from there, in Taruba, in 1967, the first Ramlila, they actually do something. And I take the same players and we start the Sarwan Kumar dance. The Sarwan Kumar dance or the play came from the Ramayana. How, as even the scripture tell you, honor your mother and your father, for the day shall be long. Sarwan demonstrates to the world that he did service to his mother and father and he gained liberation. You know? So, to the blessing of my parents, have a little idea. I'm not that educated to say, well, with any PhD or whatever, but keeping good companionship and the blessing of my mother and father and my Aji, my father mother, who blessed me before she leave this world. Today I am surviving. Plus, my 4 children, 2 grandchildren, and above all, my blessed wife, who have me strong looking to this too. When you come to cooking, you don't make joke. When you come to seva, that is a Dharam Patni. That is 1 in a million for me. Yeah.
Thank you. But give us the meaning of that song, that biraha that you just sang. What's it?
Aji Aja Chachi Chacha, Bharat Desh se aaye hai. Aji is my grandmother. Chacha is my grandfather. Chachi Chacha. Aji Aja. Aji is also grandmother in Hindi. Chacha is Aji Aja. Chachi. Aja is also grandfather in Hindi. They all came from India, Bangladesh, and they crossed the Kala Pani and they landed in Trinidad. Accordingly, there was some were poor, some had education. They did what they had to do. Some got married, they had a children. But the important thing, they educate their children, no matter how poor they may be. They educate their children to the highest standard. High standard you could think of. Some is lawyer, some is doctor. You name it in any profession. The children, the grandchildren, the great-grandchildren, they hold some post somewhere. And being someone from that descendant, I am very proud of what we all achieve here. More than that, what can I say? I love my scripture. I love my bhajan. I like me singing. And dancing is just come like a part-time for me. You know.
So tell us about the
umbrella.
costume. The costume in that dance that you just performed.
Oh, the costume. However, I went and see a movie. A religious movie, Bhakti Prahalad. And I saw his father, the type of costume he had on. And when I came home back home, I went and buy a piece of velvet and I buy some rhinestone and whatnot, costume, jewelry and thing, and I get somebody to sew it for me. So with that, not only one, but I accumulate nine of my costume when we was performing. But when we let go and think and get slow, most of it I donated to the Ramlela group in Taruba because we all associate.
Very good. But part of your costume has a sword and a crown. Explain the significance.
Okay. The crown, when you're a king, you're a king. If you don't have a crown, now what kind of king you is? That's one. So when you line up on the stage, you're the king or you're the queen. Even if other person have a crown in the head, it would not be just as the headman crown. It would be a little more thing. And the sword, it's just like, okay, if you're a king, you must have something to protect yourself. But now how gone those they had sword, you know? And that sword, my good friend, I don't know if he's gone to the beyond, when I was working in Caribbean Limited, his name was Mr. Ragbir. That piece of, which is stainless steel, it takes me 5 working days in and out to grind down that steel to bring it where it is. So God bless Mr. Ragbir wherever it is. That's a stainless steel. When I went to India with that, they wanted to know how I made that. You know.
I see. Yes. So in your boyhood days, you would have heard or seen other dance dramas like this, the Sarwani, well, you have the Saran Kumar, the Raja Harishchandra. Tell us about those.
All right.
Dance dramas have
I
disappeared.
saw the Harichan dance because when I was about 5-6 years, right, my neighbor's daughter was getting married and I danced the whole night. But the point she made, although I had a little knowledge about the language, I couldn't understand because I was a little boy. But we had good action, good costume, and music to kill, right? Whole night people sit down. From there, then one day, I saw the Sarwan Need, but not the whole dance. We went to perform with our group, and they come for half night. So I just taught a little bit of it. But the Sarwan dance, it started in Taruba when we started Ramdela in 1967 from there, you know. And up to this day, to that Saran Kumar dance, all the blessing, I was fortunate. I went to Dr. Y.P. Singh, who gone to the beyond now. on 2 occasions to India to perform. He also had sent me to Fiji. Well, Guyana is my home place now. And Trinidad, you know. So, where my little knowledge go, I love my culture and I try to keep up my culture for where my knowledge go.
But I think you are the last, and your group is the last doing this. Harish Chandra, Sarwaniv, Sarwan Kumar.
Somebody will come up here. Somebody going to come up. It's going to, you know.
But I'm not seeing anybody on the horizon.
Nah, somebody will come up, man. Don't worry.
Okay.
And the old saying, keep patient, you'll get salvation. Don't worry.
Yes, yes.
He will
But
come up, he'll come up.
in that song, they use the tassa to play the biraha. To me, it was a Nagara drum that they
Yes,
would have played.
Biraha and Nagara is the same thing. It's the same beat. This is maybe a hero name. Oh, that was they were singing and dancing, music. Then you had the classical side, you know. Then when you come like Pagwatam, you have a different kind of music there, with Hal and Kartal, you know, like that. So every season, I will say in Hinduism, or every festival have their own type of music.
Yeah.
You know,
But
like it's singing. You can go
tell
play
us-
when you have classical singing.
tell us about the there was some biraha songs that were not religious. They threw pikong and so on. Tell us about that. The secular, non-religious.
Well, the answer is yes. At see Biraha, you have to make up right away. Like somebody going like started sing, right? Then you compose one. I catch you in the bunch and I put you in the pot. I rest on the table and I eat till you hot. And you're gone again. And it's vice versa like that. It's similar to classical singing. But once you give in pikong, you must be able to stand up and take. Otherwise, we just want to fight.
Yes.
You know?
But
What's that?
maybe I am wrong, but most of these dances, one of which you are known for performing, the Sarwan Kumar, they were performed during weddings, and I understand sometimes 4 nights, 5 nights. It's a play. So
Yes.
before advent of orchestras and so on, there'll be entertainment. Tell us about that.
Well, as I said, now the Sarwan Kumar, and not only Sarwan Kumar, the Sarwan Kumar thing was the last that came out. You had the Harichan, then you had the Gopi, you had Mandal, then you had the Prahalad, and so you had many. But in those days, everybody gone to the beyond, right? And then coming to the ending in the Karuba Ramlila, is there I raised this Sarwan Kumar dance as a joke. And from 1 night to 2 nights, from 2 nights, until now we decided going farewell and things. And that, very, very blessing of God and you all, I was fortunate, and Dr. Imrani, I was fortunate to go and perform in Fiji and 5 states in India. I was fortunate with Dr. YP Singh.
Yes.
You know? So Baba is all a blessing, you know.
Yeah. So right. So this have you seen this type of dances anywhere else? You went to Fiji, you went to India.
Nah. Not even the old Prahaladas. No, the answer is no. I think presently our group is the only group existing.
Yeah.
You have one dancer, but I talk about a group, you know. But we don't know until what may happen later on.
No,
But somebody will come up.
most of your actors on stage would be men, and they wear skirts. All the men wearing skirts or dresses. Can you?
Always men, yeah.
But why the men wearing skirts too?
Well, if you're acting as a lady, you got to put on lady clothes,
Uh,
you know. Like the Rani and them, they will put on the lady clothes.
yes.
Yeah.
But I see some men actors in over the years, they have something like skirt or dresses as well, but they're not playing the role of women.
All right, now you see, okay. Most of them, you watch the movie, you go see King and them. have that type of wearing. So perhaps they follow that fashion, you know.
I see.
But for dance have its own type of clothing. For men, you know what I mean? And when let's say you make a costume and with a jacket or a pants and you dress it, it creates a different sense. You know, yeah.
And
So it's like that.
you would have a lot of comedy and jokes too in your plays. I have seen some of them.
I don't know, but at the moment it will come. After I done from there, very rare. I can't remember any. But once I did in the ring, it just comes. You know, I don't know. That's a part of my blessing.
But
Because
you
while
had,
I'm dancing, I was trying to make up word now.
yes. But I think you had some father performing with you in the early days, or some of your relative.
No. He was a dada to me. And I mean
Okay.
dada, he was a sadhu from Gandhi village.
Yes.
He is the cause. Because he was with us in the Rambila in Taruba. And he who asked me, he said, Beta, every night they have singing in Rambila here. One night they will do something. And he showed, I take the members of the Rambila self. And I raised. So he turned Sarwan Para and I turned Sarwan. And we kept place by day. We danced the balance of the week. And from then we started going jug. From jug, then you right through. Yeah.
I think you had performed somewhere in the States, New York or Florida, somewhere.
Many occasion for you.
Yes, many times.
Yeah.
So this is a rare performance, rare type of folk theater, folk dancing, and it's a pity that we are not seeing anybody in the immediate future continuing this ancient tradition.
If I tell something for you, on many occasions, I try to get young people to pass it on. Yeah, but yeah. You don't say no. But that year remain here right there. You know. But what are you going to do? These things do happen. And if you go back to our scripture, I tell you, in Kali Yuga, this is going to happen, but it wouldn't last. Somebody will come back. You know?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to play just 1 minute the Ahirwa dance that you had performed some time ago. So after this, after I play the video, you'll explain it, please.
All right.
Yeah. Yes, Sisadu, explain.
Yeah. Now that song is a composition about our grandparents. When they left India and came to Trinidad, they had fulfilled every, how you could call it, profession. From a farmer to a doctor, from a lawyer to a magistrate. You name it. The grandchildren, the great grandchildren, each and every one, where academic knowledge is concerned. Take for instance, we have produced a great scientist like Dr. Rudinat Kaplev, a world great speaker from Trinidad, you know, and it is the genes. Yes, time plays an important part. We do expect everybody to be doctor, lawyer, magistrate, but then do what you have to do. And this is life. And when you believe in karma, karma is part and parcel for each and every one of us. Yeah.
Right. So we let's open up to members of the audience here. Any questions? Just raise your hand and we will give you permission to speak. Talk to Sadhu. He's a living legend, the last of the Mohicans.
Yeah, Bhagwan.
So this form of folk theater, oh my God, ancient. And many diasporic countries do not have this type of folk performance.
Yes, yes.
Anybody? Oh, Simon, yes. Simon, go ahead. Simon, unmute, yes. Ask Sadhu. Talk to Sadhu. Simon.
Are bold now?
Simon, yes. Or he may be frozen. Anybody else?
Namaste, everyone. Namaste,
Okay.
Sadhu. It's just a
Okay,
comment
namaste.
I have.
Go ahead, Simon. You have muted yourself.
All right.
Right, go ahead
Right.
now, Simon.
I just wanted to say to Sadhu that I has been to one of his dance down in Cedras.
Wow.
In Cedras, it have a temple which is called the Balka Devi
Yes.
Temple.
Yes.
And that temple is a volcano with the volcano under the ground, and the
Yes.
press is going around the volcano. That is about 12 years ago. I went there and it had Sadhu, his play going on there.
Thank you
So
very
just a comment I wanted to make.
Thank you
Yeah.
very much. God bless.
It's a pity, as Robbie says, a pity the government is not giving funding to promote this type of theater
Hmm.
that is almost on its deathbed. Not you, Sadhu. I'm not referring to you. Yes. Vinay is here. Vinay from Florida. Go ahead.
Hi, Sitram Saturday. Do you remember me from when we spoke before? Oh, okay. I wanted to ask you, if you remember any long-time Biraha that you would have learned when you were coming up, some of the older Biraha from the elders when
I
you
can't
first
hear you good,
started.
Bayo.
He said he's asking if you remember any old-time Biraha that you would have learned or heard during your childhood, which is
Okay.
not
The only
present.
Biraha that I really learned in that era was 2 or 3 lines from Ramji ke Bagia Sita ke Pulawari. That was a Biraha song all about, especially in wedding.
Mhm.
That's an old time Biraha, very old. But Biraha you compose on the spot.
Mhm.
About anything, not
Anything,
necessarily
yeah.
religious.
Yeah, anything, yeah.
Politics and so on too.
Anything.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Anybody again? Raise your hand. Your electronic hand is at the bottom base of your computer screen. Shalima, you want to add something and we could probably close off? Unmute.
At this point, I think let's give preference to Rihanna. Rihanna wants to ask a question.
Yes.
Yeah.
Rihanna from the Netherlands.
It's not. Yeah, in Holland, in the
Holland.
Netherlands. Okay. Um, um, you are very passionate when you stand there, and it's really nice to see you doing your performance.
Thank you very much,
And
Kitty.
Yeah, I think it comes from your heart, and whatever you say, everyone listens and they enjoy. So please keep going on, because
Thank you very
it's
much.
yeah, we're losing it. Yeah.
Thank you.
So thank you. Thank you for
Thank you. God
sharing.
bless.
Thank you.
Yes.
So,
Thank
Shalima, in closing, I don't think we had properly introduced him. So you can probably do that now. Sadhu?
No, we did.
Yeah.
did.
What is
Okay.
it? Oh,
No,
somebody?
no. She is going to close now, and then we're going to move on to the next speaker. But she wants to say thank you,
Okay. All right.
and she appreciates your appearance and for keeping this tradition alive for
Thank you.
so long,
Thank
for
you.
decades. Yes, Shalima?
Yeah, so Mr. Ramgulam, you've done a fantastic job so far.
Thank you.
And my only question to you is, how do we teach this to the youngsters?
On many occasions, I tried. But youngsters, you only say yes, but they would not reach it to do anything. That's the biggest problem. I'm willing to share my knowledge, whatever little I have, but no one here, they don't say no, they say yes. But right now, I'm training my two grandsons, I'm training them. You know, the both of them is guitarists, accomplished guitarists, plus they're in the dance group, you know. But God knows the best for the future.
It's true, very true. So I'm glad to hear that you're training at least your grandsons, and hopefully at some point in time, we'll be able to feature them doing this particular dance.
Thank you.
Yeah?
Yeah.
But they have to be as sharp as you. So I hope they're
Now
this
that,
sharp.
them is more sharp on me.
All right, thank you very much.
God bless you. All right. Sarah.
Sit-down. So, ladies and gentlemen, we were very happy to have Mr. Budram Sadhu Ramgulam sharing his lifetime and expertise in doing these quite unique dances, which are no longer found in Trinidad, and hoping that we'll be able to have it featured through his grandchildren at some point in time. We move on now to our third elder, and I want to thank you, Dr. Mahabir, for conducting that interview. We want to move on to our third elder now, and this is Mrs. Chanarde Darling Rampersad. She's 80 years old. She was born in Trinidad and attended the Plumita Canadian Presbyterian Mission Indian Primary School. Long name. We just wanted to make sure that you all know that at that point in time when she attended the school, it was the Canadian Presbyterian Mission Indian Primary School, to differentiate it from schools that others would have gone to. She got married at the age of 17. She raised 7 children while working as a seamstress at home. And we did a recording with her a few months ago in Plumita at her home with the technical assistance of our IT manager, Daryl Gransom. So we'd like to share that with you now. Can we have that, please? So you said to us that you got married 2 years after you met this man.
Yes.
Can you please tell us exactly what you said when you agreed to marry him? Who did you say yes to? And what did you say?
My aunt. I said yes to my aunt because they carry back the message from me to the boys' parents and bring back the message from them to me.
Why did you say yes?
Well, he agreed, so I agree because my parents, they talk to me and say, well, you know, is a hard-working person and the person don't drink, the person don't lie, and you would be happy. So I said yes.
Mausi, did that work out?
Well, yes. I had a happy married life. 63, 64, 65 years.
65 years.
Yes.
You were happily married.
Yeah, we had little ups and downs in between, but wasn't nothing really. We vexed for the moment.
And you make up again.
Make up with that.
But he was not a drinker. He was a hard worker.
Hard working, a very hard working husband. caring, sharing. When he go in the field, I did sew a blue bag for him, right? When he go in the field, and he coming back, he go to the orange tree and he go pick a orange, suck it, testing which one is the sweetest orange. He go full the bag, and while you walking out the road, he go share for everybody, neighbors. He go share. All you taste this orange, all you taste that orange. And so he used to be, he was a sharing person.
So let's go back now. You were 17 years old at the time. He was 24 years old. Can you remember your wedding day?
I got married the 5th of June, 1960.
1960. 5th of June 1960. Do you remember how the date was set?
Well,
What determined that date?
the two parents go by the pundit, and the pundit open the book and give them a date from the book, from the patrana. And
When they came back and they told you the date, what happened next?
nothing. Well, I agree.
You
Well, they put a
agreed?
date, yeah.
Right, and now you had to start making preparations for the wedding.
My parents,
So,
yeah.
your parents did most of the preparations. How were you involved in the preparations?
But I wasn't involved. I just go by a seamstress named Budia in Beach. She was a big time seamstress too, sewing wedding clothes only. And them did know she, and they carry me there and take measurement, and I choose what I like from the book, right?
Can
And
you describe the dress?
a lace dress, make nice with frills, and I had two bridesmaids. My father put me out real nice, like a big shot to see.
And shoes?
Because yeah, I
You wear
was the
high
first
heel?
child. Yeah, little heel, because I tell him I don't want too much a high heel. And nice shoe, I went with him to choose what I want.
Was that the first time you wore high heels?
Yeah, yeah.
So how you walked in it?
Good,
It
good.
was comfortable?
Yeah.
And where did you have to go to buy this shoe?
Sandy Grandi.
Which was the name of the store?
Well, I can't remember. I think it's in Bata.
Bata was the shoe store at the time?
Yeah, yeah,
And only that was the only shoe store in the town?
yeah.
So you chose your shoe. It was white?
Yeah, white with nice rhinestone to the front. Make up nice. A pretty shoe.
So you got married in a wedding dress?
Yeah.
Did you wear sari?
No, I didn't like sari, but they make a nice lace yellow dress with frill.
Okay. And you didn't have red? Either?
No, my father, well, he couldn't afford all that, so.
Okay. So can you now tell us a little bit about the ceremony? This is the June 5th. This is the day you got up in the morning. Were there any pre-ceremonies, preparation ceremonies before that wedding day?
Friday, the hardi. I do puja, the pandit come and I do puja and I christen.
On the Friday?
Yeah, because the pandit say she can't sit down and listen puja until she is christened. So my father say, okay.
But what is christening? Isn't christening having to do with Christianity? What did it have to do with Hinduism?
Well, I is a Hindu, so it had to do with Hinduism.
But what was the christening process? Do you remember?
Well, the pandit go say a prayer in your ears, right? Right? And they go beat the ghanti, somebody go beat the ghanti, right? And he will be ringing the bell and they cover you with a sheet. And the pandit go in your ears, he go say the prayers and he tell you, do not tell nobody that prayer I teach you. You keep that for yourself, that is your protection. So I say, okay. And after that, he do the puja day.
Did he give you a different name or anything?
No.
It was always
Name.
Chanardi.
Yeah. And Rune. Rune is my Rasi name. Right?
Did he tell you that you're not supposed to tell your Rasi name, or it was okay to share your Rasi name?
No, well, that is my book secret name, so I could share it with my children. Not
Okay.
nobody, my children. So if anything happened to me and I'm sick and they want to go to the patra, they would know my Rasi name.
Right.
You understand? Right. So after that, they do the puja, put up a yellow flag, and then same day was the rub saffron.
So tell us about that. Did you prepare it or somebody else prepared it?
They prepare everything. I didn't know nothing about. I know they had to rub saffron. My mother told me that, but I didn't prepare it. My aunt prepared it. Yeah, and they rubbed me down with
Who
saffron.
was they? Who rubbed you down?
The children. My mother did it first, and then they get 5 girls, and the 5 girls did it.
Unmarried girls.
Yeah,
Like you.
little children,
Little children.
little girls,
Uh-huh.
5 years to 8 years, 10 years.
So they put saffron all over you.
Yeah, yeah.
And then what happened?
Well, they came inside. They said, "I died the kohbar, right?"
Where you were sitting when
Yeah.
you were doing the saffron.
Yeah. No, not where I was doing the saffron. When I get up, and they carry me to the living room. They had somebody draw. That time they draw on the wall, and they said, they call that the kohbar, and you go with your hand full of rice with a
Flour.
how you call it?
The rice.
The
Like a loya.
like a laddu.
Like a laddu.
Right, and you go with that, and then you put it down there with a bera, a silver bera. You put it down there. I don't know the reason why they used to do that, but I see that, and I do that, and they make me bow and thing, come by my parents' bow, by my elderly bow, and that was it for that day.
And all of this is happening when you were in the saffron. Saffron was on you.
Yeah, yeah.
And when did you have to wash that saffron off? How many hours later?
3 days after.
Oh, 3 days?
Yeah. You could bathe, but you could bathe and wash, but not all of your face, your hand, your foot. Right. Wipe out all your neck and thing, and it was not nice thing really, but you know, because you never accustomed with this kind of thing, coconut oil, and you know, but it's something you have to do, and you have to.
Right. So any other ritual you had to do while you had the saffron on you on the next day? Because it's now, you had 3 days you have to keep this thing on.
Yeah, well,
were there any other rituals you
Well,
had
it's
to-
Sunday morning now, they rub the last saffron, right? They make you sit down with the 5 girls to eat the sweet rice, right? And when you don't do that, they take out little bit from everybody one, and then they tell you eat. And they take the little bit and they wrap it up in a leaf, and they go and they tie your eye, and they carry you, they blindfold you, and they carry you where they want to hide it. You have to hide it.
What, the saffron?
The sweet rice.
Sweet rice.
Yeah. And they bring you back in the marrow in the tent where you rub the saffron. They lose your eye, and they tell you go and look for it.
Did you find it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I find it. So I asked them why they do that for. So my aunt say, well, the reason they did that is anyway your husband, they will find him. You won't lose
so your
him.
husband is sweet rice.
You won't lose him. I don't know if that's true or lie, but they tell me that. So, and I share that with my children. When my children get married too, I share it to them. I don't know if it's right or wrong, but I share it for my children and grandchildren.
So after that ceremony, you went and you had to wear your yellows.
No, you bathe now. You change your clothes and you're preparing. The lady go come and she go prepare you.
Who was
for
the lady?
the seamstress. Go prepare you now for marriage.
What was that preparation?
Yellow. You put on yellow.
Everything yellow.
Yeah, yellow.
You had
Nice,
to wear
nice veil and thing. Cover your face so and thing. Up to here you cover. But it's netting. So you could
have seen him when you walked out.
you could have seen through it, but I never really watched. I was
So how did you see
I
what
was
you were
shy.
wearing?
I was shy,
You
eh?
were shy? So you didn't watch him?
Seeing all these people in the tent and and
So how did you know for sure it was him?
when he sit down to marry, I take a peep.
So you like what you saw when you peeped? What he was looking like?
Well, he had on the crown on his head, nice crown.
A puggree?
And yeah, they put a puggree and they put the crown over it. And then they put some
Flowers?
flowers hanging down, where they make with crepe paper.
He was peeping too?
Yes, of course. He was peeping to see how the bride looking. And I peeped to see how the dulaha looking, and
You all didn't?
that was too secret.
Okay.
Between two of we, eh? Okay. Well, we sit down in the marrow to get married. They bring before that they bring the pirha, the wedding pirha, and who make the pirha, that a purchase the pirha, and then the dulaha father and dulahin father had to touch it to the kumar, about it, to the baby, and then they put it down and they put money in it, and I know who take the money. And the wedding go on. The wedding go on. We get married, then I dressed in a white, nice wedding dress. Pretty dress.
You were looking forward to wearing your white lace dress.
Was a pity I didn't have that to show. A pretty dress with two bridesmaids. My father said, I want to put out my daughter grand, and two bridesmaids on the side holding up my dress, and
So you had a long trail.
the wedding dress was very nice, nice veil. And the first time I dress up like that, eh?
Like a princess.
Yes, like a princess.
So when you changed into the white wedding dress, did he change into another outfit?
Yeah.
What did he?
No, we actually the wedding go by the boy house with what we had on with the wedding dress, and he had on the same.
Okay, so
Jurajama.
because he came in the Jurajama, you changed into your white wedding dress from the yellow, but he kept on that Jurajama. And then after you changed into your white wedding dress, what happened?
The wedding gone home by mother-in-law house.
And how far was your mother-in-law house from yours?
Kumar, how much? From here to Bailalbo. Till Bailalbo.
3 miles.
3 miles or so. You had gone to that house before? Did you see it before?
No. I passing, no, I'm traveling and I saw it.
So you were never taken there before. So what happened when and did you go in a car or what?
Yes, a car.
And when you got to the house, what happened?
Well, they purchased the dulahin. And they take she out the car and they came me
And what did you see first inside?
to the house.
What was your impression?
Well, if I didn't like it, I had to like it because I done married. Eh?
What did you see?
He built an upstairs house,
Concrete wood, what?
concrete posts and tapia wall and nice flooring board. Yeah, flooring.
And you liked it?
Yeah, because my father married me to a poor man and had to go and live where he lived in. So I was happy.
You were happy to be married?
And go and live there. Not a matter happy to be married, but I was happy where I went, where I married and go and I see, because we didn't have that kind of house. We had a little jupa like. My father couldn't afford to build house then that time. Right?
What was your chupa made out of?
Karat.
Carrot.
Lipe,
floor,
lipe, and lipe wall, white. But I was happy home too, in that house. Don't mind my father had a small house. We was happy. We was a happy family.
And you were happy when you met your in-laws.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have just your mother-in-law and father-in-law and husband to live with?
Yeah, for a while.
And then what happened?
Till I had 2 children. And then
How old were you when your first child was born?
19.
Okay. And at 19, you are now a mother. Did you have the baby at home or in the hospital?
Home by my mother. And we had a licensed midwife named Miss Millie Boy. Miss Millie. Spanish. Yeah.
So she came home and she delivered your first baby.
She delivered 3 babies of mine.
And the fourth baby, where was the fourth baby delivered?
And the 4th baby, a lady from Beach delivered. She name is Mutur.
Indian.
Yeah. Yeah.
And fifth?
The 5th, a old lady, you know, Bechni Nani, mother, she delivered 1. Because we didn't get in this lady from Beach. And the Spanish lady move out. So we get an old lady who knew. And she delivered that. And she mother, the old lady Bechni Nani mother, which is Bechni, deliver Vijay. And Leela in the hospital.
So you had the last 2 babies in the hospital?
1 in the hospital only.
1. Okay.
And only balance deliver.
So your baby is born. What happened in the first few days?
Well, I was bed rest for 6 days. Mostly in bed, not all the time lying down in bed, but inside. They say when you make baby, you have tie your head because you catch a cold if you come out and all them things. So we listen to what they tell me because you know we know. We listen to what they tell me, what my mother tell me. And we obey it. And the midwife used to massage me for the 6 days, bathe the child, all them things, and massage the child. And then after that we go and we own and we do it while my mother used to help us out. And after 3 weeks I leave my mother's house and come home with my child.
And who used to rub the baby now when you came home?
Me?
You?
Yeah.
Not your mother-in-law?
No.
Okay, so tell us about rubbing or massaging the baby. How do you massage a baby?
Okay. Massage the neck first, then the 2 hands, massage them. Then the 2 foot, the belly part, the 2 foot, turn them by the back, massage them. And mother teach me how, if they have hasuli, well, you know about how to rub it.
How can you tell us?
Yeah, you hold the collarbone, they say just go up like, you hold it so and you massage it. Easy. Down, and but the babies and them it's a ball. And then you turn them by the back and you pull this for the back. And the middle, the bone in the middle, you hold that and you keep doing it so. Not hard, eh? That, yeah. And when you don't do that, you
Cross the
your
arms,
foot, and then
legs.
you hold them by the 2 foot and you lift them up. And you
Hold
do
them
upside down and just do them so.
Shake them up.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you shaking them up?
Well, my mother said to fix the hatsuli, so we know that. Or she say, you put them in a bed sheet, 1 hole on one side and you hold the other side and you do it slowly. They lower their hand and you do that, and they raise their hand and you lower your hand about 4 or 5 times, and it is fixed with some children. So we learn all that.
And up to what age do you massage a baby? And how often are you massaging the baby?
Morning and evening.
Every day?
Every day till they had 2 years. massaging the children and putting oil in the head.
Coconut oil.
Coconut oil.
Why?
Well, they say coconut oil will keep the baby cool and the skin does remain smooth.
Oh,
So we know about coconut oil, and I teach my children about coconot oil and how to massage the child, and my grandchildren too. I teach them. Yeah.
and you would have massaged all your children and your grandchildren. Anybody else you massage and fix hasuli and so on?
My niece right there, she 2 children. Bathe them for 6 days and massage them. Yeah, mind them until they big 3 years. Yeah, because they living right up the hill in the back there, and the children is most of the time they here.
So hasuli is when the collarbone is shifted out.
On range, yeah, they say the collarbone on range, and sometimes when you're feeding the baby and they pull in, it hurting them. And sometimes some of the children used to vomit. So you go know it's hasuli.
So when a baby is vomiting constantly, it's because
When they
something is wrong.
drink, they feed, and they bring it out. You know it's that.
Milk bird.
All right. So how many great grandchildren you have?
I have 11. I have 11 grand, and I have 6 great grand.
And what would you say is your biggest accomplishment in life?
Well, I love them. I love my children. I love my children. I love my grandchildren, and I love my great grandchildren. Just Friday, I gone by one of my great grand, and I massage him and thing. Yeah, my daughter child, Sandy Grandi, and I will massage him. That when I rub Avirna.
Thank you very much for sharing all these lovely stories.
Oh.
So there you have Mrs. Chanarde Ramprasad. Now, she is one of those people who we would consider to be one of the keepers of tradition. She was so knowledgeable, as you all can tell. And there's information that she has at 80 years old, which other 80-year-old people may not have at this point in time. We so enjoyed having that conversation with her, and we learned so much from her. There's another portion to that interview that we want to bring to you, just to share, because really, she was so fantastic with it. Jay, you wanted to say something?
Don't say it. I am the other 80-year-old on the screen.
You are.
So whatever she went through, I went through as a
Yes.
child,
Mhm.
and I've seen it done with other things. And I know the name of my midwife.
Is that right?
Oh yeah, I loved her because she was always at home, and she lived in the area.
Wow.
So I've got that whole history of mine there.
Mhm.
I'm just putting it together.
Oh, nice.
So
So you see the
when she's
similarities again. It doesn't matter where you are in the diaspora. I mean, you're in South Africa and you can share this kind of a memory with us here in Trinidad.
I know. That's why I'm listening to her, and it's all coming together. And the midwife story, the massaging, and the other thing she missed, we used to be massaged on the legs.
Yes.
You put
Put
the
on
leg
the legs
together,
of your
give you a
mother
bath,
or whoever was doing it.
massage. Yeah, and oh my God, I've seen today. I made sure I want to be here because 80-year-old. That's my league.
I'm so
and
glad.
and the other person, that the dancer,
Mhm.
I've been through 2 dances, but remember, I'm of the Tamil stock.
Mhm.
I'm South Indian. So the South Indians used to have a different type of dance sessions before a wedding, or where there's a prayer and things like that. And you had the South Indian, and then you had the North Indian.
Mhm. Were you
And
a
I've been
spectator,
to both.
Jay? Were you merely a spectator or were you a participant?
Sometimes participant. As I grew up as a little boy, I used to do things I'd get involved, and the guys used to call me and do the other thing is the Durga prayers.
Mhm.
My mother used to do it,
Mhm.
right? She used to do the Kali prayers, which is South Indian.
Mhm.
And we had a temple, and I used to clean the temple. So I was all part and parcel of it.
But were you ever motivated to wear the costumes and do it over a longer period of time?
No, no, no. Just I did a fancy dress parade in school, and I came third in the fancy dress as Lord Krishna.
I see.
So, I've been through that, what you would say, the milieu of Indian.
Mhm.
See? But the,
Very
the, the
interesting.
other thing that was unique with the last one, where she had a Presbyterian Indian school and the Presbyterian Canadian, and they were going there to take the Indian out of the Indian.
Correct. Mhm.
But yet she kept her traditions, she kept her values, the Hindu values.
Mhm.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it is.
In South Africa, it's the same thing. We kept our Hindu values.
Mhm. Mhm. It happened.
So
It happened in many in. Well, I don't know if we could say it happened in a minority of the cases that they retain their values, because we still have Hinduism and
oh no,
Islam
I would say majority.
in the country.
Minority moved away.
Mhm.
The minority that moved away were through these evangelical pastors that came around, not the major Roman Catholic or the Anglican. It's the lesser ones that came after them,
Mhm.
the Baptists, the Presbyterians, and other sects. And
Yeah.
now you've got the Hare Krishna group, and then you've got the different groups of the Hare Krishna.
Mhm.
So Hinduism is still there intact
Yeah.
in majority of the cases.
Mhm.
Bollywood is teaching them big time.
True.
It's bringing them back.
So
I enjoyed this session.
wonderful. I'm so glad to hear that. Thank you very much. So Vinay, thank you so much for sharing all this good information in the chat, and Robbie as well. Robbie, can you come on and just share for the benefit of our YouTube audience what that whole process is after the baby is born? You're commented here in the chat. Are you able to come on and unmute? Yeah, you're still muted, Rob. Robbie, you're muted. Can you unmute, please?
Right,
Yeah.
you hear me now?
Now we can
I
hear.
wasn't being allowed to unmute
Okay.
you. I am in the lovely San Fernando Hill here. Yeah.
Okay, but the bandwidth
Yeah,
is low, so don't walk. Just stay in one place. Don't walk.
mhm.
Okay,
Yes,
so
so you
go
asked me
ahead,
about
please.
the afterbirth ceremonies.
Yes.
Right. So one of the things with children, and I'm seeing more when like when people have a newborn and somebody kisses the child and they expose the child to different diseases, it's good to quarantine. You're supposed to quarantine the children, the baby that is, upon birth. So these ceremonies, apart from just doing the rituals, what they do, it's a form of quarantine where the mother and child is not exposed to persons in the society or even in the family. Because I know of a baby who was kissed, and the child developed herpes uh, um, from that kiss.
Mhm.
So these rituals have a medical and scientific purpose of the quarantine aspect. And when she mentioned the rubbing of the saffron, she didn't like it. I mean, many beauty products have the turmeric in it and the saffron, so it's a form of make. I'm sure Tanti looked very beautiful, but the saffron would have enhanced um her beauty as well. So this is something that that's why you rub the saffron as well, because it's a form of beautification of the bride. Remember, she seen this guy for the first time, so she had to look her best. So it was that's why you have this rubbing of the saffron and these post birth rituals. And then you have the Chakti, as I said, and the Barahi. It's all limited quarantine and then celebrations because everybody wants to celebrate the birth. And they have to have a little patience to wait to see the child. And sometimes when a child is born, even the father can't see the child. And so that is why they have to have a grand occasion when he could see the child. So this is why you have these ceremonies as well. So it, as I said, it's a form of quarantine for the development of the child's immune system. So that is one of the reasons.
Does it take different names? You say Chakti is a 6-day celebration, Barahi is a 12-day celebration. Is it different based on gender or does it take the same name, irrespective of gender?
Ek, do, teen, char, pa, che, 6. Che, 6 and Chakti. And Ek, do, teen, char, pa, che, Saturday, now that's Gara, Baraha, 12. Barahi, Baraha, 12 days. So the name comes from the numbers. So that is why it's not gender based, it's just time based.
Yeah. Wonderful. Thanks so much for sharing that.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay,
Chakti.
great.
Yeah.
And enjoy San Fernando Hill. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, there we have it. We had 3 very, very knowledgeable and interesting elders today. It's unfortunate that we couldn't have Mrs. Rampasad here to take some of your questions and your comments, but we really learned a lot from her as well as the other 2 gentlemen. And these are all keepers of the tradition, and we're so happy to have them alive and here with us to share their stories. So at this point in time, we're a little bit early today, but I want to thank you all very much for joining us. And I want to say thank you again to our 3 presenters from today, Mr. Rupnarain Ramlogan. Their names are so similar. I have to check to ensure I'm saying the correct thing. Mr. Rupnarain Ramlogan, who is 88 years old, Mr. Budram Sadhu Ramgulam, who was 83, and Mrs. Chanarde Darling Rampasad, who was 80 years old. Thank you so very much for sharing your stories. And to members of the audience, I want to thank you very much for being here with us. Let me turn you all over to Shakira now to close today's program.
Thank you, Shalama. And yes, they are wonderful personalities. Thoroughly enjoyed today's program. And we want to thank everyone for taking the time to attend today and to participate. And as we've said earlier, this public meeting is being hosted by the Indo-Caribbean Cultural Center. And you can feel free to contact the ICC to publish your reports or your books. Remember that we are asking you to kindly give us your suggestions. If you give a donation, your name will be placed on our poster and all promotional materials, and you can contact Dr. Mahabir for details. Our topic next Sunday will be the colonization and decolonization of clothing in the Indian diaspora. So we want to thank the advisory and planning team led by Dr. Kumar Mahabir, our IT consultants, Daryl Gransam and Navin Mangal, who has been advising on recording the program and who will upload it to our website and YouTube permanently for posterity. And thank you to Daryl again for designing the poster, to Ravin Ramsingh for doing the social media marketing, and Miriam Mohammed for producing our TikTok videos. So please visit, like, and subscribe to our YouTube channel to see all our past recordings. I am Shakira Mohammed from Trinidad and Tobago saying goodbye. May God bless you all. Dhanyavad.